All right, lucky enough to get another match that went down to the wire. There was a bit of watching two structure bars slowly going down and seeing which one went first. We're talking a little bit about why they didn't get it. We're talking a little bit about the fits on the Vindicators. What do you guys think? What made the difference here?
I mean, to me, I don't know if maybe they didn't overload fast enough. It seemed like the damage kind of ramped up toward the end. Like all of a sudden they realized we need to overload. Perhaps if they had been overloading off and on earlier during the shooting of the golem would have made a difference. From what I've heard, that I don't think he had void loaded the flagship, the last Vindicator to go down. So that may have made it a little bit of a difference too. Maybe there were a couple things they could have done to get through that golem, but it was awfully close.
I think the big difference was that the logistics pilot was focusing on those frigates instead of the Vindicator, the flag Vindicator. And that little bit of rep made all the difference. And when they lost that Vindicator, they just didn't have enough damage to take down that golem.
We can also see a effect here of the pockets. So no big reveals here. The ship is dead. The kill mail is already up. But the Vindicator was only fit with faction mods. If he had perhaps been fit with officer mag stabs or something like that, just buff his damage even just a little bit to burn through that golem and get the points that we needed when he needed them.
Yeah, and the total value of the flagship actually was 1.6 billion. We just saw, which is that's
Probably,
not a lot of money.
yeah, no.
Even
Faction,
I have
I mean,
that. And
That's not even one officer web for a Vindicator. You figure it's probably low-end faction webs, low-end faction modules.
I get drunk and don't remember losing that much ISK. It's just like, just throw it away.
So, well, I just lost my train of thought. We're talking about the flagships, right? So we are in the losers bracket, and if you lose here, you're not on to the next round. This is the first flagship we've seen today. Why are we not seeing more? I mean, this is do or die for these teams. They need to bring them.
Well, either they haven't picked one or they've already lost theirs from the previous teams by the looks of it. So I think we're probably going to see more of them now later on. I think the teams coming up probably still have theirs left, and you're right, it is do or die, and they're going to have to fill them and bring them. But if you do bring a flagship, do fit it properly. Just put some officer max stabs in there or something like that.
Maybe also a bit of the meta game, where if you have a Bailgorn flagship, they expect you to bring Cap Warfare kind of setup or a Webby setup, and then you kind of hope to fake them out with your bands and your flagship, make them think what you're bringing a certain thing, and then bring a counter to what you think they're going to counter you with. I mean, some of that does go into play, doesn't always work out, but you do see captains trying to do that, and that could possibly also play into it.
It's important for our viewers who are not maybe used to the Alliance Tournament to know that the flagship is, you only know the enemy team has their flagship once you are already in system, you've selected your fleet, you are preparing to warp, and then you're informed that the other team is flying the flagship and who is flying it. So you don't know anything about the fit, and you don't know if it's coming or not beforehand, so you have to always be prepared.
So the lesson is, it's do or die, bring your marginally expensive flagships. We do have a little bit of a video explaining some of the UI we were using for this Alliance tournament. Does anyone want to go through exactly what's on this?
We're all looking at Dolan, but
I
it's
dropped
okay.
my glasses on the floor earlier and can't see the screen until I pick them up.
So we do have a match timer up there, of course, that's the time left. The applied effects are, you can see individually on each ship what's happening. And then, of course, we have the big bars. The defense one showing the tank, and the purple part being the reps, the total hit point potential, essentially. Coming up there on screen, just as I predicted.
The thing to know about that is when an ASB, for instance, goes into reload, the purple bar will shrink to indicate that.
And of course, you want this red bar filled up, red being the applied damage, the black bar being the damage you're not doing, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And here we can see the control bar. So the potential blank area is all the different sort of controlling modules. So that means webs, that means ECM, that means sensor damps, that means newts as well, so cap warfare. And the higher that goes, the more likely the other team is to be hindered in applying their damage and doing what they want to do.
And hating their life. It's never any fun to be damped, jammed, and webbed at the same time. It's just not good.
And I mean, the jams, I think, is one of the places where if you're fighting an ECM team and you see the red bar being pretty much black, meaning that the team is being jammed out and simply won't be able to apply the damage.
Another important thing to note about, well, we're just going to go on to that. I'll talk about the red bar later, later on in the turn.
So this is Surely You're Joking versus Clockwork Pineapple. Again, these are really small alliances. Like, there's none of the really big ones we've seen yet.
No, I mean, Grun is Grun being Clockwork Pineapple, or neighbors of mine in Syndicate. They're a small gang entity that kind of does the same sort of stuff we do. And they've got some experience in the tournament, and they got a lot of experience in the small gang stuff, so this is kind of up their alley. I'm not really familiar with Surely You're Joking, however.
Yeah, Surely You're Joking is a combination of, I think they do wormholes and lowsec, that sort of thing. But I think that Clockwork Pineapple is clearly winning the name war with pilots like Honus Arsebolt.
That's a wonderful name. Surely he's joking. Anywho, the match is ready. Who do you think is going to win? Dolan.
I'm going to go with Grun,
Yeah.
Clockwork Pineapple.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Grun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Pineapple as well because they're winning the bet war on the ebet.com.
I'm going to go with Pineapple as well because I believe that they are the ones giving me a pineapple or have the guy that runs around with a pineapple every year.
Right,
at
Alex.
FanFest. Yeah, I think
Alex
so.
is the same. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go with Clockwork Pineapple.